ISL Prime League.
Of the night. Map number 1 is once again going to be Ruins of Ceres. Looks to be a staple in the Lakes Divide. And up here in the top left, got a green Protoss player from rival SC2 League. It is Pure.
And his opponent, in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, directly beneath Pure, the Orange Zerg player from Psystorm Gaming. It is EndofLine, coming from the losers match all the way back up to the Lazarus game and the Lazarus match. The winner of this game, or actually, sorry, the winner of this match, potentially of this game also, will move on in second place in the round of 32, or move on in the Group B second place. However you want to say it. Second place in Group B. Way too long to say that. Frignal, I'm handing it off to you. Take it away.
Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Wonderful. Look. Right. Okay. Right.
Well, looks like you could not quite handle it because there is a double hatch for End of Line.
Ooh,
I thought I gave you something to work with. I thought.
I like this. I think this is going to be. This is something that's going to be playing
macro?
on 3 hats for pool, but they're all in. Like it. It's not a expansion. It's not a third expansion for pool, but yeah. I mean, this kind of signals towards quite a Ling heavy style to me. And normally you would have been able to play that out, pretty regularly. In Heart of the Swarm, but in Lakes Divide, of course, with that much lower kind of lava income you get from injects, as they sort of take care of themselves, but don't do as good a job of it as a top-level player like EndofLine might. Yeah, you don't quite have all the lava to blow on Lings that you might want to, but this is going to be really interesting. I really want to see how this plays out.
Yeah, you can blow on Lings a lot with those larvae, with some extra larvae right there, but yeah. I completely agree, and the funny thing is, Pure has scouted it. He's kind of like, how do I respond? I think best for him is play like you would have before. Maybe make like an extra Zealot or Sentry, just in case there's a massive Ling push. But looks like interesting enough for Pure. He went Zealot, started an Adept, canceled Adept, went for the Stalker. Stalker definitely a little bit better at holding. Just because it's bigger, better at holding these ramps, but looks like it's going to be Twilight Council, which still could be Adept. You have the Adept build and you have Stalker, and by the way, when Lings come out on this map and they go down those ramps just outside of the natural base, it's kind of bugged. They go through the side of it. Yeah, when the next pair of Lings, you can't actually see them move. They go through the stairwell part, or whatever, the railing. They go through the railing of the ramp, which was a stairwell, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, well, I mean, these couple of Lings from EndofLine are going to run in here and see what they can see, which is going to be, there's an expansion here. The other two, one splits off, or both of them split off to keep an eye on third bases, any of those plans come down to Pure. His Twilight Council's done now, and I want to see what he researched from this. Zealous? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Charge lots are really strong, aren't they? Dealing their 30 impact damage. They're pretty crazy good.
Oh, yeah. No, they do really well. The easiest thing for Zerg to deal with them is either A, use Ling's speed, you can't outrun the charge, run in, so, no, I'm serious, run in with Lings, pull out the charge and run away, and the Zealots won't be able to deal that extra 30 damage, or you just send in a couple Lings and those Zealots will trip off charge, and like 5 Zealots will surround 1 Ling. Maybe a little easier with a Roach, just because it does last longer and will draw more Zealot fire, but the most surefire way I've found to deal with them is run it, get that charge wasted.
Yeah, it never really signifies a great sort of state of the game, though, when the optimal way of dealing with something is to run away from it. So, I don't know, we'll see. I think it is getting nerfed in the next patch, so...
The Lings have to go in first, but yeah, you're correct. There's charge coming down, and Pure is adding on a Robo off the back of it. Observer, maybe clean up some creep. I'm guessing an Immortal? From what
Warp
this looks like. Actually, Warp Prism, I take it back. That was actually a much better idea than Immortal. I keep forgetting Warp Prisms are that viable.
Yeah, especially Legs of the Void with that 2-second warping time adds on a lot of power. Plus, you can sort of quasi-blink micro all your units with a Warp Prism with their long pickup range. But yeah, EndofLine's sending a couple of links around just for, I guess, run-by preparation as he builds up a big roach force. No signs towards a third base just yet. Oh, no, never mind. Yep, signs towards a third base just now. So a little bit more of a cautious third base from EndofLine. I'm wondering whether he would be able to get away with having that third hatch at the third base location.
That is third base. Well, I think you could do a cool two-base play purely off the amount of larva you have. Maybe it would be cool in a ZVZ where you can just overwhelm your opponent larva-wise, but generally off two-base you don't have that many extra minerals. So I can see cool stuff you do it, but these armies are actually going to meet head-on. These roaches at the moment don't have any upgrades at all, and they're actually going to take a ton of damage from these zealots. That charge is scared to deal with, especially with the Warp Prism on top, maybe even warp in behind them units. It's a 2-second warp in.
Yeah, oh, these zealots coming from behind, and the sentries to ensure the death. One force field will be all that is required to cut these roaches off, although it does actually kind of channel them into a nice little location. There we go, now the zealots can get the strand off. Kill off all these roaches. Still a few zealots left over. Still a bunch of sentries as well, and EndofLine's in a little bit of a dicey situation. Some reinforcements coming out do give him at least some kind of army, but Pure can warp in again and again and again. He can elevate his units up into the main base if he wants to. And he can very much
gotta trip off that charge. Yep, still losing a lot there. The initial lings do go down, but these charge lots are just so good. And the buildings at the top of the ramp are not even truly walling it off. We have a couple Hydras coming out, hopefully to kite it, but now this third base is at jeopardy. And it's such a quick warp-in, you can actually make your own kind of holes with it. But the warp-ins do die quickly, focusing down, yet still, Zealots are so good. But oh, this is 300 gas. This is a lot actually for the Protoss player at the moment. But that third base is going to go down. End-of-line can do nothing about it.
No, absolutely. And the really valuable units get away in that Water Prism. And those are so strong. And still pretty cheap there. End-of-Line's economy has been significantly hurt. A Baling Nest even coming down to try and deal with these Zealots. We'll see whether it's effective a little bit later on. But for now, Pure's already got his third base up. The transition coming along with High Templar tech. And, of course, Storm being added in. So it's a tough situation for End-of-Line.
Yeah, this is incredibly tough. He's trying to get a Baneling Nest. Maybe not normally what you would see versus Mass Zealot, but still, he's got to get some AoE versus these Zealots. A run by anything to keep Pure out of his hair. And, oh, actually, some nice force fields. It won't be enough, though. Those sentries will go down. Off the back of this, we're seeing Storm, which is a nice move from Pure. I feel like maybe you'd go Infestor, but at this stage of the game, pretty much Ling Baneling is probably best versus these Zealots to get rid of them. But maybe not. I feel like Ling only because it trips off the charge, and then Baneling just because, well, it's some AoE something, but still, run-bys are good.
Oh man, these Zealots are so strong. We're already taking down a Queen and a Hydra, trapping another Queen here. Charles will be up in a second, and bada bing, that's another dead Queen, another dead Hydra as well, and just 3 Zealots are doing so much damage here, slicing and dicing everything they can get their hands on. And one more drone will fall, and that is going to be all she wrote for those, but that War Prism is still there, still presenting a threat, and End-of-Line only just now getting his third base finished, and it's 9 minutes. That's a bad time to have your third base finished in a ZVP in Heart of the Swarm, and in Legs of the Void, it's a terrible position to be in.
Now, Pure has only killed 4 workers, but is 21 workers ahead. His third base completely saturated when it's completely saturated now, and he's not only got High Templar, but full energy, or at least a Storm on each of them. So this is a nice army from Pure. He can start mixing in Zealots with 1,300 minerals in the bank. He can mix in those Zealots, and man, they will just decimate the Roach forces when they move out. And Storm, Zealots at least, I'm guessing, maybe try to get a surround something to shut down those Roaches so they can't keep moving around and start storming. But Pure is covering all his bases, getting +2 attack at the moment, Actually, is that +3? No, it's +2. Plus Immortals, just covering all his bases, and End of Line is moving out again, but his army has been destroyed from just day one. It has not been able to do any damage to his opponent. Looks like he'll try to cancel the fourth, but risky.
So far, End of Line hasn't really ever looked in a position where he can actually win any kind of battle. This might be something he can chalk up to his favor. A little bit of a lane run by is, I don't know, that slight deviation might have been enough to enable, that just lets Pure save his Nexus if it just focuses on that. However, provides a little bit of distraction for the main army to push in towards the third base.
Banelings!
Storms, again and again and again. The Banelings aren't quite enough with the upgrade advantage that Pure has, and the Storms rain down upon End of Line. So much damage, his army is completely routed, and the Banelings rolled in, did a decent amount of damage, but that extra, just the single point of armor the Pure has is just a little bit too much. For,
just that single point did let him survive there, which is just huge.
Actually,
still a couple. Actually, no, workers were killed right there.
Yeah,
I think that was the plus. Or no, he doesn't have any +1 upgrades.
What's End of Line? End of Line's only got +1 melee, not +2. It's +2 melee for workers, for Banelings to one-shot workers.
Okay, but still, there's a little Zealot Warp in at the third base, which will take up the time of the army, allowing Pure to get a couple more High Templars out. Blink is on the way, and +1 armor finally. He's at 2-1 at the moment, and these Zealots are just getting better and better as the game goes on. The basic units just stack so well. At 100 minerals, that allows you to put all the gas into upgrades and into those high... Storms are good in any situation. I don't care what you're versed against unless it's Ultralisks. They're good.
I mean, Storms are pretty nice to have. A couple of Lings run in, but the cans finished up at that third base are going to be able to very effectively deny them. Plus the fact that shield has regened a little way, even without Chrono to help the shields regen faster. They still happen. They still regen fast enough. And now Pure's getting his armor upgrades. Immortals coming in as well to add into any kind of possibilities for any transitions to End of Line. You mentioned Ultralisks, and I don't think he really got the economy.
I don't think it'll be Ultras at all. It's going to be Lurkers, yeah.
End of Line, actually, just looking over End of Line's economy, he's mining off 1 mineral patch in the main, 4 in the natural, and his third base is the only full mining base. He is in a bit of a sticky situation against Pure.
40?
He's got all that and 2 mining bases. So the income advantage is heavily in favor of our Protoss player here. Even a hidden base coming up over towards the top right-hand corner. And End of Line, he's got an army, but it just does not match up to Pure's. 123 army supply to 72 in favor of Protoss.
The Lurkers may be able to make something happen since there's no observer with Pure's army, but still, that's a lot. Well, the entire time the main base is getting sniped, and End of Line just says GG. By the way, at the end Hey guys, welcome to possibly the last game of the night, and for sure, at least the second last game of the night. Here in the top left-hand corner, currently up 1-0 in this best of 3. From the rival SC2 League, the Green's Protoss player, Pure.
And his opponent then, down here in the bottom right. Hoping to take it to that game 3, map 3, so he can at least stand a chance of joining BioIce in the round of 16. It is the Red Zerg player from Psystorm Gaming. End of Line.
Oh yeah, obviously, last game trying something new, but this game just opened it up quite standard as Zerg in the current ZVP Legacy of the Void meta. And I'm curious, is there anything you've been curious to see, Trigonal, at least from Protoss? Because majority of the Protoss, I mean, we've seen Adept Rush, and I guess we saw Zealot push, but the majority of it has been either really cheesy or Adepts, is what we've seen really work well for TOS.
We haven't seen any disruptors tonight, especially since they've got their recent kind of redesign. I don't know whether that's made them better or worse at harassing
Depends.
lines, because that seems to be kind of what they were mainly used for before, is kind of running in killing mineral line,
Well,
zipping back out again with the prison.
because you send it in and it goes to a point, you do have the time to split. It's not like the disruptor can just follow you around. So you have that. It's not quite as easy for the disruptor.
You can still control the projectile, can't you?
Trying to think. I think you can. It's not quite as easy because you do have to worry about the disruptor itself. But whatever with it, we have not. Yeah, but still with the warp prism drop. Actually, what's in the suggested changes and was when a disruptor goes into a warp prism to cancel it, to cancel that.
Oh, does
drop.
it
And
not
that's by
do
a
that?
Protoss player. It does not. That's by Petit Drogo.
Oh, that seems really strong.
Yeah,
That
no,
seems
he
really
himself actually.
This
on
is actually
Battle.net suggested
just
it.
a minute. This is a pretty big scout coming in here from End of Line. He's going to see these warp gates being warped in with his links. Should be able to get to work on that pylon and deny a lot of the reinforcement capability of Pure. This is, incidentally, 1 base adept, 5 gate adept all in. So End of Line, having gone with a really greedy opening, already his 3rd hatch is on the way, is going to be facing up against some difficulty with this, but he might just be able to take this pylon down before Pure comes in. I don't know. If he focuses it
Probe
down,
is still there, though. If it needs to come back, the probe is still there, and already the 2nd pylon is started. The Stalker working away on those Lings. The Lings will get that pylon. 2 Adepts are going to be canceled, or not a cancel, but the 2 Adepts are not going to be made, and probe goes down.
Start.
I think it's been defended completely.
I mean, yes, I think it's going to be really tough to make it work. Pure, yeah, he even turns those adepts around, goes back home. Still probe going out on the map. Yeah, he's going to actually have to rebuild those gates at home. These 2 gateways are going to be worked away on by those Lings, and one can fall, the other one rapidly follows up. And oh my god, again, these 2 adepts, they are going to be able to zip away, but this just leaves him back at home. I think he's going to be able to kill this one before it can manage the teleport. Just gets it. And yeah, now Pure has to keep it at home, has to be warping it at home, has to be worrying about this. And across the map, there's still plenty of Lings to be able to defend this. But adepts are slippery little beasts.
They're going to try to be getting as many kills as they can. They will pick off that... Oh, will they pick off the Queen? They do pick off the Queen in such high DPS, but they got to be careful about the Lings trying to surround them. There is the one Roach, but not really doing that much right there. The Roaches finally will kind of come in and get a somewhat surround, but as you were saying, the Ghost, what will happen? Looks like the Roaches are not going to pursue the Ghost into the main, and they will get there, but only 1, not quite enough to really start doing that damage. End of Line is defended, taking only 2 losses of drones.
Yeah, almost a perfect defense here by End of Line. Maybe he had just read where those adepts were going a little better to start off with, but the second wave comes in here by Pure. 5 adepts, but there's more than enough Roaches and Lings surrounding those. The Ghost being sent in, but several of these adepts are going to go down before they even get the chance to teleport, and only 1 actually manages to make it through, and that is just not enough.
Yep, that one will not do any damage here. Maybe get a drone, but I'm guessing not. And it's going to sacrifice its life for, I would hope, that 1 drone. Sadly, it will not. Pulling back, and it looks like this looks like 22 Lings coming out. A Baneling nest also. This is not looking too good for Pure. There is a wall in the main, but not at the natural. And Stalkers, no Adepts. This is looking really scary.
Really, really scary indeed. This Mothership core as well, one of the units Pure tried to cut to try and get that adept push really going. If he can take down this Nexus shortly, then there won't be anything for that Suffolk Nova charge. But going to take down the pylon, cuts off some reinforcements, but then backs off. This does get valuable time, 15 seconds, and that Mothership core will have what it needs to Folk Nova charge the natural. But on the other hand, End of Line will have a bunch of Banelings.
Yep. Those Lings, though, did get in. They killed the pylon, and it's not going to be quite as quick of a warp in to defend that natural base. But now there's the Banelings, and there's only 1 sentry, not force fields that much. So far, the Roaches and the Lings will be focusing down that natural base. Queen will get a couple hits off, but there's the photon overcharge. Really, that is what it's worth, not its own attack. But the Banelings focusing down that natural base. That's all End of Line wants to do now. He has to get rid of that natural base to make this worthwhile, and I think he'll just barely get it. More Lings will be flooding in. 24 Lings on the way. Force field to defend off this ramp. There's 1 more sentry being warped in, and for now, End of Line pulls back. Slow Roaches, but still, he achieved what he needed to do.
Yeah, I'm actually a little surprised by the commitment of those banelings straight into that. I would have thought they'd be better spent on all those units bunched up on the ramp. Maybe could have busted through them and possibly even ended the game, but hey, what do I know? EndofLine, he certainly succeeded in keeping his opponent on one base. And this is Legacy of the Void, let's not forget. Already only 7 minutes into the game. Under 200 minerals left on nearly 3 of these mineral patches. 230 on one, and then 185 and 105 on the others. Oh, another one on only 75? Oh, big surround here coming in for EndofLine as well. Lings all over. GG. EndofLine takes it to game 3.
Welcome to the final game of the night, and the final game of this fella's tournament life, possibly. Both players here need to win this game to move on to the round of 16. On the right-hand side of Dash and Terminal, you can see the green Protoss player presents rival SC2 League. It is Pure.
And of course, the end of this match, one of these players will be going home with nothing, and another will advance on to the round of 16. Here in the top spawn, we have our second contender from Psystorm Gaming, Red Zerg. EndofLine.
Nice. And as you were mentioning, Trigonal, Dash and Terminal is a very interesting Game 3 map choice. It's not kind of, okay, we're gonna leave the most balanced or the map I know the best last. It's, I have a plan on this, and it's gonna be key here. Who has the plan? Who's gonna be playing to this map? Dash and Terminal, like you can also play to Bridgehead and maybe 1 or 2 other maps. Really, that this is how I play on this map, and this is what works best. That's what we're going to be watching out for.
Dash and Terminal is one of the kind of common themes. Is a lot of the maps that are very unpopular with a couple of other races tend to have a couple things that can be exploited by Zerg. On Dash and Terminal, of course, it's the 3 avenues into the natural base. There's the one behind the little high ground area that goes via the 3rd base-ish. There's obviously main natural choke, which is fairly small, and there's going through the rocks, which is slightly more direct once you open it up. And that the combination of those 3 can make naturals very difficult to hold if the Zerg player goes like full on speeding all in, and the approach player doesn't react very, very carefully. But for Protoss, I don't feel like there are as many things that you can just kind of abuse to win the game really easy on Dash and Terminal. Terran, of course, has their float for gold, but I would say it's unusual for Pure to let this through the veto process. So I'm looking to him to see what his plan is on this map, because I think he has to have one for us to be playing on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, he does have to have a plan here. Now, at this natural base, the Adept is up in the main defending that wall, and it will be pulled down here. Maybe the Lings can go around. Speed is not done till about halfway, and they actually will be able to start going for the Adept, but as I mentioned, no speed at all yet for them, and Pylon will go up, denying those Lings. But the Lings saw a couple important things. Mainly, I feel, no, they won't kill anything. Mainly, okay, there's a forge there, and you are actually expanding into the natural. It's not like some sort of one-base play, which does allow the Zerg. Anything you do as the Zerg, as you were saying, Trigonal, is really scary as Protoss, because there's 3 ways in your natural. You have to defend well, or you will start to lose a lot and not be able to keep up in the game. So for now, really, Pure's got to be careful. He needs to get a lot of damage done to negate this Zerg's pretty greedy opening. Or on the other hand, I mean, he's got to be greedy himself, which is just not possible on this map as Protoss. Really that well.
Yeah, well, of course, Adepts do add a different kind of angle into this game. Oh, that's not good, though. Getting them completely surrounded while they Goose Rock cooldown. They're all going to die, and that wasn't really the result he wanted. Adepts are pretty expensive. I think there might still be 50 gas, even, in this build of Legacy of the Void. And losing 2 Adepts for 2 drones.
25. 125. 100 minerals, 25 gas, so...
Really? Currently? Because they changed it to 50 gas, but then they announced they were going to change it back.
Ooh, guys, there's only one pylon at that back area, not enough to actually wall it off, and there's not a sentry currently out on the map. End of line, we're just making sure. Actually, is he walled it? Is that? No, that can't be a wall at all.
No, he needs a gateway. There we go.
Yeah, and actually, surprisingly enough, gives enough time for Pure to get up a wall. But still, he loses that pylon. The front is being attacked, and this is forcing out a lot of extra buildings for Pure. Now, it is a gateway, though, and he's got the Adept shield upgrade on the way, so I kind of assume he's going to have to just make a massive Adept push.
Yeah, and that Adept shield upgrade is a pretty big deal. Do you remember, is it 90 shields it adds on?
Yes, it is 90 shields, which boosts it.
No, it's 50. It's 50.
It boosts it up to 90, though.
It to 140. No, they start with 90 shields. They boost it up to 140 shields, added on to 90 health, and they become enormously tanky. They are obscenely difficult to kill. And yeah, that all adds on up to a really, really nasty push. Really nasty kind of core unit when Pure does decide to push out. So it looks like he's playing this for a slightly long game, hence the actual Adept shield upgrade, not a bunch of Adepts going and killing him now. So yeah, let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, and there's +1 armor was started and canceled, but like you were saying, potentially just if you have a unit that has more shields than health, that's actually really good because it can you can pull back and it can heal. It's one of the cool things with Protoss that I don't want to say you see underutilized, but it just kind of happens passively. There's a lot of situations, if you waited a couple seconds, have full shields, that's pretty good. For now, though, the Adept shield upgrade will go down as Pure secures a third base. And as you're saying, this is pretty much him saying, you know what, I'm going to go into the mid-game and getting Storm. So pretty much, he's kind of... Would you say this is more offensive or defensive? I feel like for Pure, I mean, he could do like a storm drop, something like that, which could be potentially incredibly powerful. But even with that, is it really going to get to that stage in the game? He's got to have some AOE to deal with Lings, but it's not going to be ready for this fight.
I don't know if he does. I mean, Adepts are pretty good.
But if they get a full surround, I mean, there's only one sentry here and no force fields at all. Yeah, or with the main army at least.
Adepts are still like really good. I don't know. He's just kind of getting towards reaching critical mass. Those Hydras being added in provide like a really, really important add-on. The Lings alone don't quite have the DPS to actually kill a big ball of units because they can't reach the one from the juicy center. They just attack a couple on the outside. That's a nice stalker to pick off though. EndofLine's going to keep on going. Sentry force fields away, and these Hydras are pumping out so much DPS. All the Adepts trapped on the back. The Ghost Account trying to get them away, and they will get a few of them into a better position, but they're going to have to get back in the fight. Storm is done now, though, and that's a big one.
Yeah, that was a huge storm. The drop in the main was cleaned up, but still, a couple of Hydras here, and those shields are only truly best utilized when the Adepts have been given a couple seconds to regen them now, and that's exactly what they have been given. Ghosts go forward, and potentially this could be an interesting flank, I guess, and they will push forward, focusing down the Hydras, and now the Immortal's here, and there is actually that upgrade. There is actually the barrier if the Immortal needs to, but for now, the Hydra's got to be super careful. There is enough of them to start picking off the Adepts, but at the same time, they're very squishy units to the Adepts. They die in 4 shots, which is pretty good when you have enough.
Yeah, I mean, it very much... It's one of those things, as with any kind of very, very unit that gets bonus damage to each other, it goes very much one way or very much the other. And Hydras kind of always have been really good on gateway units, and Adepts still come out the gateway. Like, they can fight Hydras, but if there's a lot of Hydras and they've got a tiny bit of tanking, then Hydras still tear them apart. They're such high DPS units. And a bunch of Dropper Lords just been evolved as well. So, EndofLine looks like to be planning some sneaky Doom Drops, actually. 6 Overlords here, ready to drop.
Yeah, but Pure is dropping on him, and it will spot the Lurker down these couple of depths here, which is key for his defense, or really just defense of any Doom Drop at all. But for now, we see that beautiful Warp Prism Micro go down. No Adepts actually die in that, but for now, he's really going to be holding the army back of EndofLine for a little while, which could deter these Doom Drops. drops. Spire is also dropping, so looks like it could be a cool, just massive air army with it. For now, though, Doom drops are moving out.
Yeah, definite possibility. As Pure spots this Spire, 2 Stargates go down, but the Overlords are coming in towards this base. They're going to take out both these Stargates, at least it looks like. That's going to hurt Pure's chances. Ling run by moving towards the 4th base at the same time, and the army's all over there. There's nothing here in the main to defend this drop, and Ling's swarming all over those probes as they try to run away. Zealot's cut the Lings to pieces though, but he's going straight for Nexus. I think it's going to go down before Pure can do anything about it. And
not only will EndofLine snipe that main, but the 4th base really trying to attain was taken out while EndofLine just the entire army was pulled back to defend EndofLine's attack, and now a couple of Hydras, they will get a very nice storm on top of them, bringing all of them down to health that is pretty much killable by the Adepts, but still in the main, these Hydras, they shut down those Stargates, which was that was his next step in the game that he was going to take to try to counter the Mutas, which he had a very nice sense of knowing was going to hit him. He does have that Warp Prism still on the other side of the map. EndofLine is pulling back, but EndofLine got the damage done, killed 2 bases effectively.
Yeah, really nice little move there by him. And although the main base has nearly mined out, the Natural's starting to lose a couple minute patches as well. So that 4th base becomes more and more crucial. There's a definite timer on Pure to actually secure that 4th base. And the other point is, with the Mutalists out, it becomes more difficult to actually spread yourself across those multiple bases. They can fly around the edges, come in towards the back of the 4th base, fly around, loop around towards the back of the 3rd, towards the back of the Natural, and then on into the main base. And it all kind of leads towards a very tough situation for Pure. And oh look, more drops. What's in these Overlords? 2? Oh, lurker drops.
Not only does it lead for just a lot of bad situations, but Pure is not able to get out any Phoenixes yet. With his main army, he's been amassing his main army. There's no Phoenixes, nothing to deny these drops, but for now, actually, EndofLine is a little bit of a bad position. The Archons in the front will be able to focus down those Mutas, which is the key here since Adepts do not shoot up, but still, I don't think that's a matter because all the Mutas have to get out of there. Hydras are being evac'd, and Pure is trying to do as much damage as he can, focusing down these Overlords. At the same time, there is a drop in Pure's main, but he does not care. He needs to go for the kill right now and not waste any time.
Yeah, I mean, those lurkers across the map being dropped. Unfortunately, not quite enough time to be able to be in position to save EndofLine's 3rd base. But now a bunch more lurkers have morphed up. They should be able to get there, get in position to defend this Natural. And yeah, there they are. If he can snipe that Observer, that's all he needs. There won't be anything to deal with these lurkers. And even so, it's going to be so tough to attack into this. I don't think Pure can make it.
Even though Pure has those High Templars, you may say, it takes 4 storms and the entire duration of that storm to kill a lurker. So that's a lot of DPS you have to output. And still Pure, though, he does take a nice battle right there. Only 2 lurkers were there. But the Natural base, the thing he wants to snipe, there are 4 lurkers, which he simply cannot actually deal with. At the same time, at that 3rd base... What? 5 actually, 5 now. At the same time, at the bottom left-hand base, there is a big Zealot run-by happening, but that only even more takes away from what is with the main army, which is in a precarious situation. If it dives in too early or too late, it's going to lose a lot. But again, Natural base of Pure, those lurkers still wreaking havoc. EndofLine has decided to go Banelings, which I like. There's only 1 force field for Pure to be able to put this out, to be able to at least push them back. For now, though, it's looking really strong for EndofLine. Guys, if EndofLine can take this, he moves 2nd place in Group B.
Yeah, he will. It's going to be tough. Oh, the Baneling's coming in now as well. A big storm, 2 big storms. They go off on an Archon, not too efficient. But it looks like he's getting straight on top of those lurkers, but he backs off. There's back and forth and back and forth. He does manage to pick off 1 lurker. They've unburdened. That might be his chance. But they're just splitting up a couple storms on top of those lurkers, and they are all going to fall. Just 1 left over, and it will go down. Is this it? Is Pure moving forwards?
Pure, yeah, he might. Those lurkers on the other side of the map sure aren't helping him, but still, that's putting a lot of pressure on Pure. He has to make something happen very soon, but both players have been reduced to relatively small counts. Interestingly enough, EndofLine only has 10 workers here. Dragonal, this is getting dicey. EndofLine, Natural base, Lair. Roachwarren is going down soon. There's only lurkers left, and they're not looking too good. Those lurkers are good. the other side of the map, but they're not good enough to actually start removing bases like the Immortal, like the Adept, and this nice Zealot composition. Pure still has their 2-base income, while EndofLine, 0.
Yeah, Lurkers are great and all, but 6 workers for EndofLine, 49 for Pure. I mean, economy is always super important in StarCraft, and I just don't think EndofLine has enough to be able to ever contest anything Pure puts out.
I agree.
Even if you just spams Mass Zealot, no amount of Lurkers are going to hold this for too much longer. Just 1 base left over, and Pure, his army is strong. The storms are endless. He can just avoid these Lurkers all he wants, and it's all going to go down. Oh, actually, the Observer did get sniped, though. So EndofLine's going to try and trap this army up in the main base, but it's still not enough. GG! There we go, Pure.
Well played, Pure, from the rival SC2 League, moves on in 2nd place to the round of 16, joining BioIce. Wow.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.